Hello everyone, welcome to Azure with Umesh YouTube channel. So today the topic is to discuss how we can use Azure private link service direct connect to connect Azure Front Door with virtual machine privately. So previously this feature was using without direct connect. So there will be additional internal load balancer that we need to rely on. So currently using this direct connect method, so we don't need the additional internal load balancer, rather than we can connect directly to the virtual machine. So there are you need to make sure that this feature is currently in public preview. Then before starting this demonstration, I need to let you know that there are some of the prerequisites that you need to do before doing the particular implementation. So the mainly I need to point out this since this is the preview feature, so you need to enable this preview feature inside your subscription, this one, Microsoft Network or private link service UDR. So I'm not going to do right now. So if you want to know how to do that, so you just need to navigate to this particular link and you can do this preview feature enablement without any issue. Okay, this is the high level diagram that we are going to demonstrate today. So I will explain a little bit about this diagram. So as you can see here, we have two web servers. It can be active, it can be active, passive. That doesn't matter for this demonstration. So our focus is today how we can directly connect Azure Front Door and virtual machine using this Azure private link service direct connect, right? So this is the private link service. So this is the Azure Front Door. The end users will be hitting here initially. Then the traffic will be going through the Azure private link service direct connect to the virtual machine. These other components are not mandatory for this demonstration. So there are some local workspace, Azure monitor workspace, Azure monitor, and recovery service wall, and the net gateway. So those are not mandatory to use this private link service. So we are focusing on this private connectivity. So how we can connect directly to the virtual machine without relying on the internal load balancer that we have previously used, similar to this diagram. Okay, so I'm not going to create each and every service available here right now. So currently I have this Azure Front Door which is implemented with a default configuration, and I have two web servers configured with IIS, and those have been implemented using separate website. So we can identify which server that we are connecting. So there are some web 1 and web 2 indications for each website that hosted in each web server. And then okay, here are the services. So I have two virtual machines as I mentioned earlier, then the one virtual network, and these are the public IPs for these two VMs. Then I have, this is not mandatory, net gateway. So I have a net gateway for the internet connectivity. Even these public IPs are not mandatory. So this demonstration purpose I use to connect these VMs to the public IP right now. Otherwise we don't need private IP for this demonstration. Okay, very simple. So these are the services that I have right now. So I'm going to create the private link service right now. Type it in here, private link service. This is the service that we need to create, private link service. This is our resource group. So I'm going to create a private link service for web server 1. then click on outbound setting. So as you can hear, we have two connection method. So initially we will use load balancer. Now we are going to use the direct connect method. So it is the destination IP address method. So you need to click on destination IP address. Okay. So as I mentioned earlier, I have two web servers. This is my web 1. So I'm going to create private link service for the web 1. I need to copy this particular IP address, private IP, and I'm pasting here. Then I need to select the particular virtual network here. This is my virtual network. Then I have separate subnet for this private link services. It is called subnet web PLS, private link service. Then choose here dynamic. You don't need static IP. If you want static IP, you can choose particular static IP here. Okay, here there are three major visibility options. So first one is role-based access control. This is the most restrictive one. So this private link service will only be available to individuals with role-based access control permission within your directory. This is the recommended one. If you want anyone to give access, if they have the private link service alias, so you need to check this one. So currently I am choosing RBAC method. Then here, if you want to put any tags, just put and click on review create. Then click on create. Now my first private link service created successfully. Then I'm going to do the same for the web server 2 private link service and create PLS web 2. Then get your web server 2 IP address 1.5, and this is my virtual network and specific subnet for PLS. Then I'm choosing dynamic here, RBAC, and create. Okay, now both private link services are created. Now you can see we have two private link services here, PLS web 1 and web 2. Then we can go to the Azure Front Door here. Now we need to create an origin for our web servers. Click on add, give a name. I'm giving name like this, and you can add origin like web 1. Origin type should be custom. Then the host name should be your private IP. Okay. This is where we can enable the private link service to this particular VM. Just click on it. Then you need to choose your resource from here. You can see we have PLS web 1 and PLS web 2. This is web 1. I'm click on web 1. Then request message, you can put whatever. web 1 PLS. Okay, now we have added everything here. Just click on add, and I will add the second VM. Web 2. Then the IP address should be 5. Same. I'm click on enable private link service, and I'm selecting the PLS web 2 PLS, and click on add. Now we have added both our origins, both virtual machines, through the private link service. Okay, we can keep these as it is. Then click on add. This will take some time, around 2 to 3 minutes, to update this origin group inside the Azure Front Door. Okay, now the origin has been added. Now we need to associate it to endpoint. So you can see it is currently in unassociated status. Just go to the Front Door Manager. Then click on new add endpoint. You can give a name like WebPP. I'm giving. Enable this endpoint and click on add. WebPP endpoint is created. Now we need to add a route for that. Add a route. Here give a name. You need to click on enable route here. Then here we need to select our origin that we have created, web origin. The other options so you can keep as it is, and just click on add. While this is creating, so we have created the endpoint and the origin. We enable the private link service. Now we need to approve the particular private link service from the inside the private link service tab. Let me check from the private link service. Go refresh here. Now you can see there is a connection pending status, so you need to approve this particular request. Web 1 and web 2. Go to the PLS2. Same private endpoint connection. On this and approve. Now both private endpoint connection approved from here. Then the route also added successfully. Okay, now we can check the connectivity from this endpoint. Let's check that. You can see we can access the web application through this Front Door endpoint. Now we are accessing the web server 2, VM web 2. Let's try to refresh couple of times. Now it accessing the web v1, web version 1. So basically in the origin groups, when you are creating the origin, okay, based on the current configuration of the origin group, you can see the both servers priority goes to 1 and the weightage go to 1000 and 1000 for both. So that means the traffic will be distributed equally for both servers. So if you want to make it kind of a active passive, or just you can directly disable this endpoint from here. You can just disable this origin, then you can make it active passive. If you want to change the kind of distribution of the traffic, you can change these values based on your requirement. If you want to first hit the first server and then the second server as a second priority, you can just change the priority value here. That also possible. Okay, just try to disable this second origin, apply, and just we can check the active passive scenario. So just update this endpoint now, origin group. Okay, origin group updated. Now we disable the web server 2 origin. Let's check the traffic, how it goes. Now you can see all the traffic is going to the web server 1. You can refresh it. You can see it is not changed into web server 2 now. If you want to keep like active passive scenario, you can just disable the origin from the origin group. That's how it is works. So if you want to change the traffic distribution, so you can change the weightage based on the required values. Okay, that's how it works in terms of connecting virtual machine to the Azure Front Door using a private link service direct method. So previously, as I mentioned earlier, so we have to rely on the internal load balancer for using this new method called direct connect. So we can just directly connect into the backend virtual machine using private link service. Okay, if you have any question related to this, just put a comment down below. Thank you for watching.